Hi, and welcome to the CAFMA Connect. I'm your host, Fire Chief Scott Freitag, and with me today is the wonderful Megan, Finance Specialist, newer to the organization. Megan, welcome to the organization and to the podcast.
Thank you.
And Kathy has been telling us as we've been preparing to the film, the YouTube portion of the podcast, that I'm supposed to keep my hands on my side of the table. And it's just one of those things, there's like this barrier, and I talk with my hands and it ends up in your shot. So if I do that, I apologize to you, not so much to Kathy, because it's a good way to irritate her.
Well,
Okay.
but we also discovered that Megan does it too. So now I have to deal with two of you.
Yes.
Keep our
it'll be
hands
the
for
both
ourselves.
of us. Hands over here. I've got them on my coffee cup. So, Megan, tell us about some of your background. Where are you originally from? What were you doing before you came to CAFMA?
Okay. So I'm mostly from Arizona, because I was born somewhere else, but I've lived here basically my whole life. And before CAFMA, I worked at, I would say, like a corporate job
Okay.
for 11 years. And then I woke up one day, it was a Wednesday, I remember this like vividly, and I called my boss, who I'm still really good friends with today, and I just told her I couldn't do it anymore.
Oh, wow.
And I left, and then I did my own thing for a while. I do a lot of, hobbies. So
Okay.
I do like graphic and web design, logo design. I've made websites. I have a laser, so during the holidays I make wooden, like national park themed ornaments.
Oh, wow.
And then I was like, okay, well, I should probably get a job again.
Okay.
So when I came to CAFMA, I was specifically looking for public service work.
Okay.
And so I applied. I actually applied here once, and I didn't get it. So then I applied again, and then I got it. And then, I applied for like dispatcher jobs. I applied for anything that was in public service is what I wanted. I did not want to go back to corporate. So that's how I found CAFMA.
What do you think made you change and your desire, your life outlook, your life's direction to leave corporate and go into public service?
Oh man, it was not the money.
Yeah, because you can make far more money in the private sector in corporate than you can in public service.
Yes, you can. I don't know. I don't know if you have to edit that out.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, I think it's a good dialogue, because a lot of people look at public service and they're like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I can make a lot more money in the private sector or corporate. But then there are some people like yourself, and I would say me, that are drawn to public service.
Yeah.
We want to serve our communities. We want to serve other people. And, there are some benefits to being in the public sector versus private. In some cases, it could be the pension, right? But long term, there's a lot of money being made corporate level.
Oh, yeah.
But there's also a lot of folks think, oh, you're in the public service, that's politics. Well, there's corporate politics as well.
Sure, yeah. I really liked where I was for a long time, and I think the part that like kept me there was this idea of like democratizing financial services, like making it accessible and available for anyone. So no matter where you live, no matter what your financial situation, you could have essentially like a bank account. You could send money, you can get money, you could pay for living. But it didn't stay that way, and it just became more about, typical like corporate greed. And so that wasn't something that I wanted to do anymore. So I how they say like sometimes you're just called to do other work. Like I just wanted to be somewhere where I helped people. And I know I'm in finance, and some people are like, you're just in finance. I realized really early on in CAFMA that CAFMA doesn't really exist without finance. Like we are like, I'm going to say we're the bread and butter.
There you go. That's the way, a good way to look at it.
Yeah, because we approve everything. We like have all the budgets for new trucks, new ladders, new everything. We make it work.
Don't forget payroll.
That's
an important part.
That's really important. You guys definitely don't get paid without us.
Right.
So.
But we can't roll out the doors. And this is one of the things we try to instill in CAFMA is the sense that we're one agency, we're one organization with one mission together. We may operate in different divisions, but there's no one division that's more important than the other. Yeah. And in the case of finance, our engines can't roll out the door if we don't have fuel because we can't pay for it.
Yeah.
If we don't have the equipment because we couldn't pay for it, or didn't pay for it, right? Finance is an integral part of the organization. and our ability to provide services to the community. So if you work with my message to folks who work at CAFMA but maybe aren't on the engine, if you work at CAFMA, you're in public service. You are serving our community and our citizens today, because the only reason the firefighters can roll out the door is because of all the work that everybody else does and the work that they do to continue training to keep themselves and the community safe.
Yeah, and we're serving all the firefighters, which I have done a couple of ride-alongs. I've gone on a tour, and I mean, I love what you guys do. I love coming here. We're in a certain station right now, and I don't know, I just like meeting all of them. I loved my ride-along. Because I was in an EMT class at the time, I got to put 12 leads on someone, and that was awesome. So it's been nice. Like, you know, obviously we're in the admin building, so it's a little bit different than being with all of you all the time, but you guys come in and visit, which is nice.
You say all of you, but
Well, you're there too.
I'm with you.
You are there too.
I'm in admin. You mean all the firefighters
all
that
the
are out there?
firefighters, yeah, at the station.
You know, that they roll out every day and they do good work for the community, which is what we want. Now, you just mentioned, so you talked about, you had some hobbies, web design, graphics. Yeah. Kathy's very excited about some graphics that you've created for her.
Kathy.
I am. I'm so excited for the Community Relations Division.
That she hasn't seen them yet, but she's excited for it. You have a laser where you make products, and now you just mentioned your EMT license.
I am, yeah. So that was something I've always wanted to do. Back when I was in high school, I got a scholarship to go to this, like, I think it was like a summer camp type thing at Johns Hopkins, and I was not very well off when I was younger financially, so I couldn't go, but I've always wanted to do something in medicine, and I wish I had done something sooner.
Right.
But I found a class. It was fairly inexpensive. I took it. I got, the completion of the class was in June, and then I tested for my NREMT in July.
Oh, wow.
And I got it, so I'm really excited.
There's your EMT. You can do some ride-alongs out in the field.
I know.
Which would be great, because you can use some of your EMT skills out there.
Yeah.
Keep those up. Now, something else you did when you moved up here that you mentioned is that flight school.
I did, yeah. So Lenore Flight School is over at the Prescott Airport.
Okay.
And so I have three main, like, hobby goals in life, and one is to buy my own plane. I already know what it is. It's called a Kit Fox. The wings collapse, and then you can actually park it in your garage.
Nice.
And it's a bush plane, so you can take off and then land in, like, state land.
Okay.
You can go camping or fishing, or
nice.
There is a guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he has a bush plane that he actually attaches to electric dirt bikes to on the side. So that would be like true life goals there.
Right,
but,
very cool.
Yeah, so in the backyard we have a little mini track that we're building for our dirt bikes.
Okay.
So
very nice.
Another hobby.
Yeah. So another hobby that you and I connected on. So the pilot thing, you can really connect with Josh Mazzone, who's a Black Hawk helicopter pilot for us,
fun.
Also a firefighter here.
Chief Barnes,
who was rotor wing pilot, still has his helmet in his office, which goes to my push to Chief Rose that a helicopter for CAFMA would be good. We have pilots, potentially another one coming up.
Oh, I don't know about helicopter pilot.
I don't know. It would be kind of cool. I think my father-in-law was an airline pilot. He was a pilot in Vietnam with the Navy, flying A-4s, and he said, I never understood those guys that wanted the propeller above their head. He said it just wasn't for me.
It scares me a little bit. So my instructor told me, if nothing's going wrong in a helicopter, just wait. And I was like, I will stick with fixed wing. I'm good.
Yeah, talk with Josh about that, or even Chief Barnes. They may be able to give you more. But my father-in-law's theory was, I can eject out of an airplane. I can't eject out of a helicopter. So, and there's some sound reasoning in that, I think. But still think it'd be cool.
I agree.
So the one that you and I really connected on, though, was you also have an interest in cars.
I do. And it's funny because all my interests have come in my 30s, and I won't say, how far along in my 30s I am, but when I was younger, my parents were very much like, no tattoos, no fast things, nothing.
Right.
And then I turned 30 and I was like, cool, I'm buying my first dirt bike. Learning your first dirt bike when you're 30 and it's a two-stroke is not the best idea, but it's going. I bought a motorcycle. I started working on cars. We have 2 VW Bugs that we're turning into kind of like Baja
Okay.
bugs. We have a Dodge Cummins that I recently changed the starter out of, which I was really proud of. But yeah, I just like, figuring out how things work, like using my hands, helping my boyfriend, because I like to rescue animals and he likes to rescue things with or without engines that he can make work.
I feel him. Yes. Yeah. I'm very similar.
You do all of that and you rescue animals?
I do. Yeah.
For heaven's sake.
Can
you leave some for the rest of us?
They just come to me. Like they just,
the cats, the dogs, they just are like, Megan.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
She's a woman of interest. Right? A woman of the world.
Yeah. I have a lot more time now. I work 40 hours a week.
That's what we're going to name the podcast.
And that's it. So
the most interesting woman in the world.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's your new... Can you see the memes already?
Yes, I'm making them.
I think that she's making them in her head. By the end of the day, they're going to be all over your cubicle in finance.
I just have a lot of hobbies that I try and find time to do. And a lot of support. So my boyfriend, my parents, they're all very supportive of me.
And almost your entire family lives up here now. Correct?
Yep. Yeah. So mom and dad, and then my brother still lives in Gilbert, where I moved from. But he'll be up here soon, actually. So.
Okay. Yeah. Wonderful. And did you meet your boyfriend up here or meet him in the valley?
I did. And so I met him up here. And so I have all these new hobbies, and I'm like very much enjoying living my life right now. And I give him a lot of credit, actually. So his dad was a concrete contractor, and so he started doing concrete when he was really young.
Okay.
And kind of did concrete his entire life. And then one day someone told him, like, you can do whatever you want. And so he went back to school for his EMT, got his fire 1 and 2 in hazmat, and kind of just changed everything that he was doing. Right. And I saw that, and that's kind of what happened when I woke up one morning, and I was like, I can do that too. So... yeah.
It's never too late.
It's never too late,
right? Because I'm further along in my 30s than you are. And we'll leave it at that, but further along. But there's always opportunity to do something different and new and exciting and just live your best life. And it sounds like that's what you're doing. Yeah. And hopefully working here allows you to continue to do those things. I'm hearing great things about what you do in finance from the finance manager, Karen, and others, and I think you're a great part of the team. I know I go in and interrupt finance every single morning. It's just a ritual. Actually, I interrupt every division every single morning in admin, but I go in and you continue to work until I bring up something with costs.
And I pop my head over.
Yeah, then all of a sudden your head pops over. Whoa, wait a second. What are we talking about here? What do we need? So it's great to have that connection with folks in the organization where we can talk about things beyond just work. Yeah, we can talk about, hey, what did you build or create? And it sounds like you're building and creating way more than I am in Close Enough Garage.
Or I'm trying not to break as much, but we are going to have similar broken Jeeps soon. So.
Yes, yeah. Well, mine's working currently, but I'm also not driving it, sitting in the garage while I try to get this other thing running. But we'll see where all of that goes. But in the meantime, gave you a good tip over the weekend.
Yes.
Don't finish the YouTube video before you start hitting things with a hammer and prying on it with a pry bar.
That is imperative. I've been there a couple times.
Yeah, it can be a challenge. But real quick, before we close out, what kind of laser is it that you have that cuts this stuff?
Oh, okay. So I have a CO2 laser. It's a Thunder laser. It's a 130 watt, and it's a pretty big bed. I'd say it's probably 4x6. And then I also have a CNC for woodworking. Okay. And that one's 6x8, I think. Yeah, that one's just a CO2. I would like to get a fiber laser or even one that can cut metal.
Right, plasma.
Awesome, yeah.
I want one of those.
They have these new water desktop ones, but I don't know how I feel about it yet.
I think the stuff we could make if we had a plasma cutter. Yeah. Jen. Saying to my wife.
I think Fleet would really like it.
I've been trying to get Fleet a plasma cutter, but someone who will remain nameless has said, well, we just don't have room. I'm like, you can always make room for a plasma cutter, Dominic.
You can use my garage.
But I'm not saying his name. Yeah, we could put it in my shop as well. So, Megan, thank you so much for coming on with us this morning. It's great to introduce you to the rest of CAFMA because being as spread out as we are, we can't get everybody through admin. So, faces, names. It's good to put that together for folks. But thank you so much for being willing to come on and to learn more about you. There's a lot more you and I can talk about now when we go back. So, yeah. Kathy, any closing comments? Words of wisdom from Kathy. That's what we're going to call this. Words of wisdom from Kathy.
Yeah, of course you would call it that. No, I'm just very thankful that Megan came on. I think learning about our employees is super important, and I hope we get to do that more in the next couple of weeks. Also, we are about to open that position for multimedia specialist, so keep an eye on our website, cazfire.gov.
You get to work directly with Kathy.
Yes, that's true. Absolutely.
Better or worse.
And just to point out, I will not be doing the podcast next week because I have a shoulder replacement scheduled for Tuesday, but it's a reverse replacement, so it's backwards like me, but it takes less time to heal. So possibly back the following week. We'll see how things go.
Maybe just with the sling.
Yeah, with the sling possibly. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. But I know the show will be in good hands with Kathy and with whomever we voluntold to be here.
I feel like the most interesting woman in the world wants to host.
Oh, whoa.
I think that would be good. Kathy, I think you're on to something. Megan, with that, again, thank you, and thank you to all of you out there for tuning in.